Thokozani, Thokoza Karabo, how are you? Thokozani, guys, Thokozani. Thokozani. Thokoza, Ninjani. Hello, Ninjani. How's everyone doing? Thokozani. Okay, that's better. I can see now. Can you see all of her? Let me see. How do I get you guys to see her? All of her. There she is. Okay. Thokozani. I know you guys are looking at me, but I wanted to show you someone special because this is Thokoza Mamkize. Unjani. Thokoza, Jehuti, Thokoza, welcome. I knew you'd be here, Kesha. I knew you were going to be here, Ninjani. How's everyone doing today? Charlotte, Kabonina, Karabo, SEKHMET. How many SEKHMETs do we have here? Show me in the comments. Let's see how many SEKHMETs we have. As you can tell, in my SEKHMET attire, I am SEKHMET all the way. How many SEKHMETs? How many SEKHMETs are there? Chamagu, zondelelo. Chamagu. My phone is a little further from me today, but Mama Cheho, I see you. Mama Chehu. Hey, let Gamanzolifunda. You must send me a voice note on how to say your name. I'm determined. Stembi, so how are you? Natasha, how are you? Ninjani. So, guys, I want to get started. This is just an introduction to SEKHMET. And then, you know, because this is just, I think today we are day 3 of the season of SEKHMET. And it is a very interesting season indeed. Currently, you guys who are not on Twitter, you may not know. If you're not on TikTok, you may not know. But SEKHMET has come in with fire. And I mean that, like, literally, we felt this coming, this thing that has been brewing. You know, I've been telling you guys, this is wartime. Well, the war is here. And there's a lot that's going on. There's a lot that's going on politically. There's a lot going on in the religious and spiritual community that signifies the entry of SEKHMET. So let me greet, and then we'll talk a little bit about this energy of SEKHMET. Who is SEKHMET? What is SEKHMET? What are the characteristics? And so on. So siyathokozisa. Thokozani chamagwini lesedi lehanya tobela ndauwe kwaziwayi dumelang makadini renyu Jambo Kedu Kilode. Who have I forgotten? The Zambians, Muribwanji. So, we are all here. So, SEKHMET. Now, guys, what you're seeing here is a statue of SEKHMET. SEKHMET is an energy or principle that is feminine, so she's called a goddess. And SEKHMET is signified most importantly from other goddesses who you may see represented like this, but she has the face of a lioness. That face of a lioness to do what? To represent ferocity. She's a warrior energy. She's a warrior principle. In fact, in her story, it is said that she is the daughter of Ra. And the myth is that when Ra had created everything and saw on the earth human beings, everything was going well until Ra went away on some business, let's put it that way. Upon his return, he found that humans were no longer living according to the laws of Ma'at. There was chaos, Set was afoot, and Ra sent his daughter. And his daughter, if you remember also, is that principle or energy that we call Heteru. So Heteru, if you go back to my videos, you'll find Heteru. So Heteru goes, and when she gets there, the story is she was so angry at what people were doing to her father's creation. She shapeshifted and she became SEKHMET, the ferocious one. And so she went slashing and burning and slashing and burning until the father was like, Haibo, she's going to ruin everything and destroy this creation if I don't stop her. So the myth is that he gave her some grenadine juice. If you guys know, grenadine juice is red with some alcohol in it. I don't know, 7, it's supposed to be 7 barrels because her number is 7, which is a very important number in Kemetic cosmology. And he gave her, and she got drunk and slept. And that was how the world was saved from the wrath of SEKHMET. Now, so just also to tell you, in most stories that are told, especially by those of that other religious persuasion that starts with a C, she is one of the deities that they depict as demonic. Because they don't understand and they want to keep everybody in fear, right? Fear is their main motivator and it's their main tool for controlling people's minds, for controlling people. So, but SEKHMET in our cosmology as Abantu, we understand that she is an energy of purification. In other words, she's also represented by fire. Therefore, she fights just wars. Matter of fact, in ancient Kemet, armies would often call upon SEKHMET to go before them when they went to fight because she is a warrior energy, right? So she fights just wars. She cleans up. So purification, meaning that, you know, she burns things. Like right now, there's fire. There's fire everywhere. Oh, there's a lot of fire. Go to TikTok. Go to GK. Go on my TikTok. It's fire. Shisa yonkinto. But it's not a burning that is indiscriminate. It is not. It is literally a purification process. You guys know that if you go in the forest and you light a fire, most people know that if you want good grass or healthy grass to grow, you have to put a bushfire sometimes, right? It gets rid of all that. There's a lot of chaff left, and then the new grass starts. And so SEKHMET is considered one of these energies that is a purifier that does that. Now, I wrote you guys a warning, and in my warning I said, if you did not consciously and voluntarily do the work that you were supposed to do during the season of Anpu, which was to work with your conscience to make sure that you're righting the things that you've done wrong. And you know what those are. No one can tell you. But your conscience, who was Anpu, was going to guide you along that process. Now, if you didn't do that, she's coming for you. All right? So I'm talking about now on an individual level that this energy of SEKHMET is actually an energy that we all carry because we all carry the 3 principles, the 12 principles within us. But the dominant principle in your life is the one under which you were born. So I'm saying to you, you're going to feel a lot of burning. You're going to feel, you're now going to be forced to do the work that you didn't do during the season of Anpu, when Anpu was gently, you know, Anpu's your conscience, right? Anpu was gently saying, yeah, Mara, you know this, you need to fix this, you need to atone, you need to, if you didn't do that, then this is the energy that is going to force you to do it. And it's going to be painful. And it's going to be uncomfortable. And she will force you to do this in many different ways. Do you remember when I also told you that there's coming a time where if you don't fix your own stuff, it's going to be done in some embarrassing ways and sometimes publicly? I warned you guys. I warned you. You guys, this spirituality, our way of life, is lived. These principles or energies are alive. They exist. And so if you notice, every single season that we bring in, there are certain events cosmically, globally, politically, institutionally, that show us that there is a new energy that has come in. So I did warn, in fact, I warned you several months ago that this, that this was coming. She's here. SEKHMET, she's here. So do not try to resist this energy when it comes. I would suggest that you humbly take an internal bow and admit and let her burn away the things that need to be burnt away, because she's going to burn them anyway. However, if you resist, you are going to feel a lot more discomfort, a lot more pain, because she's no holds barred. This was an energy, she's considered one of the most powerful energies, or goddesses, if you like, in the Kemetic pantheon of gods and goddesses, because she don't play. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, I can move on to the next thing. SEKHMET energy, SEKHMET, the SEKHMET principle is the principle of healing as well. Same kind of thing. You know that if you have a boil, in order for that boil to heal, what needs to happen? Somebody needs to take a scalpel and cut it, and then we squeeze out the nasty, the pus, so it heals. So it's painful first before it gets better. This is the role of SEKHMET. On a personal level, you may feel or experience some of that this coming season of SEKHMET. Again, understand that all that is happening is for your highest good, right? She also, and this is the part of her, is when she's in a rage, historically, during Kemetic times, she had the power to destroy. So she's also known as the goddess of plagues, because she could destroy whole nations by sending pestilence and disease. Because she's a clean-up kind of girl, you know. She wants to clean up. And she can't stand people disrespecting utatake, ura. Meaning to say, we have to always be in reverence. Remember, these energies, these principles are conscious. Meaning to say they respond to you. They respond to how you behave. They respond to how you feel. They are responsive. The same way that you are conscious, they are conscious. Because you're made of all these principles, right? As above, so below. So, SEKHMET energy steps into the world or into the cosmos right now at a time where we really do need a shake-up. We need a cleanup. And she is doing it. Wire. She is shaking up things right now. I can tell you that between African spiritualists and that religion that begins with a C, there is an all-out war. What is so fascinating is what has surfaced are videos, if many of you know this, of the Bible burning ex-Christians who are trying to remove and to detox themselves on a personal level from that toxic religion. Now, after all these months, remember this happened in when was it? March, April. After all this time, suddenly, mainstream media has picked these videos up, and the C community is up in arms. They really don't have anything to worry about, because, you know, we were doing what we were doing with our own personal property. It's not like we went into their spaces and started demanding that they burn their books, those books of theirs. But we chose to incinerate, to roast ours, and that's our prerogative. But now, it's driving them insane. But this is SEKHMET energy coming in. Now, remember, the element of fire is her element. She burns things. Imagine at this season, at this precise time, literally this has been going on for the last couple of days since she came in. We're only on day 3, but it was like on day 3 precisely, it surfaced. People started going on about, why did you burn this and burn this? I'm like, SEKHMET, you are in the element of fire. And so when we talk about how these principles are alive and conscious, this is really what we mean. Because at that time we did that ritual, it wasn't her season. Yeah, it got picked up a little bit, went viral on Twitter for a little bit, and then died down. Now mainstream media has picked it up. I'm going to post some stuff on GEK if you want to listen to Khulu Nsingiza's responses to questions that he was being asked by a kneeless creature journalist, Nohal. So it's going to be very interesting what else this season is bringing in for us. What else can I tell you about her? I literally, she has many names. I'm going to read the names out because she comes with so many names. But like I said, this is a brief introduction to SEKHMET, and then I'm going to teach more and more as we go along. Great Mother Healer, Mother of the Neteru. The Neteru are the ancestors. Powerful of heart. Sovereign of Ra. Ra is a father, so she's the kind of apple of his eye. The unrivaled one. The great defender. The beautiful light. The invincible one. The light beyond darkness. The lady of the house of life. Because why? Because once again, the lady of the house of life, because she's also a healer. And actually, in ancient times, our ancestors who were healers, right? Inyanga, and who were doctors, because we had Inyanga that could, that were surgeons, Inyanga that could use, do surgery, Inyanga that could repair bones. We had specialist Inyanga. This is not a thing of Abelung. We taught them all that, right? And they became devotees of her. And their study of anatomy, the human body, was next to nothing because they were devotees of SEKHMET as an energy or principle for healers. So, you know how I always tell you guys that these principles are very much aligned with who you are, or who you are is aligned with these principles. That's why it's so important to know your principle on the calendar. I am SEKHMET, right? In terms of the day I was born and the season in which I was born. So I'm born June 19th, and that's in SEKHMET. What am I? I'm a healer. Literally by profession, by training, and also by calling. What do I mean by training? For years, I've always healing. I wanted to be a doctor. Then did medical biochemistry, Masters of Health Science, PhD in HIV, AIDS, blah, blah, blah. That's me. Until finally, I got it. And after being knocked down a couple of times, I initiated. And so I'm a trained Sangoma, a trained African healer. Do you see how that goes? So understanding who you are is determined by what principle you were born in or under. Literally. And I am a living testament of that. I didn't know any of this for none of this, even as I pursued medicine and pursued all these things to do with health. Always have loved health and wellness. Oh, I'm also a health and wellness coach. Okay, I forgot that part. Yeah, there are lots of things that I do, but it's all under healing. I'm a cognitive behavioral therapist. There's another one. I'm a Reiki master. There's another one. So there are all these things that I've done, but all to do with healing. So when I discovered that I'm actually SEKHMET and who SEKHMET is, listen, you don't understand the celebration. It was like I had finally come home to me. I was finally, knowing that you're living and walking in alignment with the cosmos and who you are, your purpose on this planet, who you were born to be, the thing that I came on this earth to do, knowing that this is the thing I'm actually doing, is one of the most exquisite experiences of my life. You know, that thing where you wake up in the morning and you know that you are walking and moving within your purpose. So don't deny yourself that. You know, if you don't have a calendar, get a calendar and learn who you are. Study around who you are. Look at the characteristics of whoever it is you are. Right? So if you're SEKHMET and you happen to be an engineer by training, I want you to really look and see, who am I by calling? Because your calling is your purpose, right? Sit with yourself and look, because you might love your engineering job, but at the same time, you might feel like, you know, that thing where you feel like there's something missing in your life. You're doing all the things, professionally, you're successful. Remember, we're talking about success being just something that kind of boosts your self-esteem and your confidence. But then there's that thing in you that says, man, something's missing. You feel like you're yearning for something more. Study SEKHMET and see in the descriptions of her characteristics whether you are not misaligned. Because I tell you, once you are aligned, it doesn't matter what is going on else, you will have this inner peace and joy and contentment. Okay? So if you find that you are misaligned, start asking yourself what your hobbies are. What are my hobbies? What are the things that I call hobbies that I'm interested and find fun to do? When I have spare time, what is the one thing I love to go to, or the two things? You will come back and tell me that those things that you like to do in your spare time have something to do with a characteristic of SEKHMET, if you are born in SEKHMET. It doesn't fail because it is the reality. We're not making this up. This is literally how it is. Right? So that is the energy or principle of SEKHMET. Her color is red. Why is her color red? Because blood. Yeah, she's a ferocious lioness and she's not scared to spill blood when blood needs to be spilled. So, yeah, I can see, I hear somebody thinking, yo, so lo koko lo kahle kahle u dangerous. Yeah. Well, yeah. You know, there is that aspect, you know, speaking of healers, and I'm going to do one that is very profound about healing and understanding the nature of what it is to heal, right? Where as a healer, you really, for you to bring light into a space as a healer, you have to have familiarized yourself with the dark. So I'm going to do a live deep one about healers and SEKHMET. This is the season for it. So you must tag your Sangoma friends. You must tag them, because they are the ones who really need to hear that one. Because I see a lot of people in woo-woo land. Everything is about balance, right? Everything is about duality. Light and dark, right? The yin and the yang. So, what else can I tell you guys about SEKHMET? I think for today, let's leave it there. And I will come and I might do a little write-up about more. There's a lot to SEKHMET than just meets the eye. There are a lot of her characteristics that I will talk about. As you know, she has many names that she goes by. But today I thought I would start with those ones, because literally as she has come in, it's wartime. It's wartime. Oh, I forgot. Is she carrying a spear? What is she carrying? So in this one, she's not carrying a spear. This is why you see her with the sun disk. You know, the sun disk always... this one. Here's the sun disk. Again, indicating Ra. There's aspects here we'll talk about the snakes. And I'll tell you a story about me and snakes. Because again, you know that the symbol for healers or doctors has the two snakes intertwined, right? So, of course, then you would not be surprised that as a healer, there is a snake somewhere on her. But yeah, I'll tell you a personal story about me and snakes. It's a recent story, and maybe I'll post some pictures. The only problem is that yeah, no, I'm but I will tell you about that interaction, and Togoza Ashonga, Togozani, and you know what? I'm going to round this off. You guys will probably see me on Wednesday or Thursday next week with more information. But please do look out on different social media platforms. So I do a lot of posting on GK. I'm sure a lot of you have seen. So sometimes if you see nothing new here, switch over to Great Empire of Kemet and you definitely are going to find some new stuff that's gone on there. And this is really where some of the more interesting stuff happens. That's where you find some of the, like I said, the wartime stuff, the combat, the combat information is on there. But otherwise, I'm not gonna. Okay, happy Africa Day. Okay, but for me and mine, it's not really a day that we celebrate as anything, because Africa Day, kahle kahle, is it was the final nail in the coffin of our colonization, because it is a union of these republics, which we patla that they need to go, because these republics have one master and one master only, and that master is the West. So based on these republics, we're not really free. So for me, Africa Day is bittersweet, because it's one of those days where Africans gather, organizations gather, give big speeches, spend a whole lot of money that could actually be used to uplift the community. And then people go home and it's business as usual. Because when you think about it, what has the African Union actually done for Africans? What has it done for you? What has it done for me? What has it done? So it is a union that it's almost like a slap in the face, really, because it has done nothing to solve any of the problems that we have. And truth be told, even if the members wanted to solve these problems, you cannot use a Western framework to solve African problems. It doesn't work. The same way as you cannot use an imported religion to help African people. It was brought to enslave you, for starters, right? And so these republics were also created to keep you enslaved, right? Because the puppet masters of the puppets, who are really your presidents, your vice presidents, and all your cabinets across Africa, they are puppets of the puppet masters in the West. So again, we are colonized inside out, upside down, you name it. So our job on a day like this is to use the time not to go drinking and eating chicken and talking rhetoric. We don't do rhetoric, but to teach. And we teach so that we can help you decolonize your mind, helping you understand that we as bakwaNtu have a wealth of knowledge, understanding that we are the parents of humanity, understanding too that we have so much power we have not yet tapped into. As you can see, I'm burning my incense because I was doing pahlaring before I came. Understanding too that we are the ones who civilize the world. And so everything you've ever been told about yourself as umuntu is a lie. I'm going to post some stuff later on that's going to blow your mind. Guys, did you know that there are some kneeless creatures who are born with a tail? Like, for real. Yo! So you see, bits of information like that I will be sharing throughout. Guys, I want to wish you a wonderful SEKHMET season. I am super excited. Like, you see, I'm like this. I'm vibrating because I feel her fire. I really do. I won't lie. I feel her fire. And somebody laughed at me the other day and said, "You're feeling SEKHMET fire. Are you sure it's not hot flashes from Men on Pause?" Because Men on Pause is also doing its thing. But that's another story for another day. I love you guys. Happy, happy, happy. Sacred, sacred, sacred SEKHMET season. Allow her to work in you. Allow her to work through you. Find your warrior self in there. Speak up. Defend that which you know to be true. Fight, fight, fight for that which you know to be true and just and fair. Because her work and why she fights so hard and why she's not afraid to go to war is so that Ma'at can be restored. And we are in the age of Aquarius, which is the age of Ma'at, meaning to say her work is supported by that energy, because that is the energy or the age that we are in right now. So I love you guys. Togozeni. I love you, love you, love you. And you'll see me around different social media platforms. But definitely here, you'll see me around Wednesday or Thursday. Mas Togozeni.